You guys think these wheels will look cool on the Monte Carlo?
Yeah.
Yeah? What do you think, Chevy? Thumbs up? Welcome to SlickWorks YouTube channel. I'd like to take the great pleasure of introducing you all to my new to me daily driver, Genie. Now, if you've been watching SlickWorks for a while, you may remember this scene from episode 5 when I was checking out Mike Hall from Rust Valley Restorer's lot. Of all these beautiful cars out here, this one I have a little soft spot in my heart for, because my first car was a '82 Monte Carlo. And it wasn't a super sport. Had the same front end. So anyways, Genie popped up for sale and I just had to have it. There's a story behind this car too. It's a good one. I was working on the paint booth on a Monday morning and a friend of mine sent me a link to a Facebook Marketplace post that showed a Cookie Monster Blue 1983 Monte Carlo for sale for $2,700. The ad clearly stated only showing on weekends and firm on price. Anyways, I sent the owner a message and told her of my love for these Monte Carlos. I asked when the soonest I could view the car would be. To my surprise, she arranged for me to view the car that day. I went and met with her at her father-in-law's hot rod shop and she accepted my offer of $2,500 to take her home. The car was plated for the first time in 4 years and drove out of its parking spot in Chilliwack all the way back to Langley without a single issue. She ran like a top, the stereo system was crisp, the heat blew hot, and every gauge in the dash worked, despite Kristen telling me there was a grounding issue and that none of the gauges work. Look at this. Shut it down. Start it up. Speaking of Kristen, much like my first car, my '82 Monte Carlo, Cinnamon, Kristen bought her '83 Monte Carlo for her first car when she was 17 years old. She cruised with her friends in the car through various stages of the car's life and her own. She even road tripped the car all the way to Red Deer, Alberta, 4 tanks of gas one way, blasting 70s and 80s classic rock the whole way. She added me as a friend on Facebook and is now a subscriber of SlickWorks. It's pretty awesome being able to go back through her old photos of the different stages of the car, seeing all her posts and photos of her love for this Monte. She owned the car for 11 years, daily drove it for 7, and it had been parked for the last 4 years. It's got the usual rust out on the rear of the frame where the back bumper mounts, but no structural damage. It's really in decent shape. For $2,500 with a brand new battery thrown in the deal, how could I go wrong? She has expressed to me that she is very glad it's gone to a good home where she'll be taken care of and loved for years to come. I will never sell this car. Now, the first thing that had to be done was fresh fluids, bumper to bumper, and new pads and rotors up front. There was obviously a few more things that I had to do right off the bat. I mean, I can't not have fuzzy dice dangling from the mirror of my Monte Carlo. Also, I changed the headlight bulb that was burnt out. It was a very intimate moment. It went something like this. Okay, well, I'll give you guys the full tour here. Starting with the front end, of course there's a few little nicks and stuff. The paint job's not the best. It is old and faded, but you know, they say the camera adds 10 pounds. Well, when it comes to cars and photos and photographing and filming cars, the camera actually adds 10 coats of wax. So it always looks better on camera than it does in person. Plus she needs a wash, but you know, whatever. So it's got its usual 5-foot G-body doors, and naturally the door squeak and the door sag. But for a bone stock 305 she just runs like a champ. You breathe on the starter and fires right up. It's got a pretty decent stereo in it too. Seats are in good condition. Headliner is, it was absolutely mint, but I've been driving around with my kids a little bit, and every time they get in the back seat, Elsie and Chevy, they like to push their head up into the headliner. But you know what? I would sacrifice a headliner any day to have my kids out with me enjoying this car. So yeah, gorgeous seats too, just comfy, like couches. Yeah, some of the piping's ripped out in the corner and seat belts. Seen better days, bit of a fray there, but this stuff's available if you feel like being safe. So I'm gonna pop the hood. Moving on up to the front of the car. Show you guys the beast that lies within. So it's just your basic bone stock factory fresh 305. Of course I flipped the air cleaner lid so you get the doji sounds when you hit the gas. But it's really been untouched. I mean, the AC's been unhooked at some point in time, but she's a solid unit. Oh, power steering looks a little wet. That hose could be replaced. It's not terrible. It does have a bit of a rocker noise when she's cold, but not bad. It revs happily. Yeah, pretty decent. Another thing that's rare with these old cars is the hood closing smoothly. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I'll just hop in the car again because I gotta show you guys something else that was a nice little surprise that I wasn't expecting. I didn't have that in cinnamon. So the car just keeps getting better as I drive it. It's almost like it's fixing itself like Christine. Like as I drive it, the odometer is rolling back the wrong way. The electronic trunk was just sort of a nice little surprise for me, you know? Oh, whoa. We'll save that for later. So the exhaust is bone factory stock from the manifolds all the way to the tip. I have started to piece together parts to build a nice true dual exhaust system for it. So I have some 2-inch hooker Supercom headers, and I have some Flowmaster Super 44s. I'm just starting to get the pieces together, but I've never actually heard what the exhaust sounds like from outside of the car. So this video is going to be the first time that I'll hear what the exhaust sounds like from outside of the car. Impressive? No. Smells like raw gas, so I'm thinking I'm gonna have to change the plugs. So, how have I enjoyed driving this car daily? I absolutely love it. It's not just the nostalgia thing of having a 82 Monte Carlo for my first car too. It's extremely comfortable. It's a breeze to drive. It's got enough power to get around, even with the stock 305. The kids love it. My wife loves it. It's cool. It's gonna take a bit more work to make it my own, but I am just loving this car. Now, when I first sat in the car, I was like, ooh, these seats are pretty brown. They're definitely showing their age. So today I think I might steam clean out these seats and even the carpets, see how it comes back. The dash could definitely use a little bit of Armor All or some tire shine or something to rejuvenate it. This brown stuff just won't come out. It's probably just sun faded and old. Another thing, when I first bought the car, this door pull didn't exist. This was all loose and sagging around. Now it's nice and tight. But every piece for this door as well as the other door was underneath the seats. So it did come with a fully complete interior. And now it's all happily put back together. I mean, it does need new weather stripping. The floorboards do fill up with rain when it rains, but it's not raining right now, so I think we're good. definitely see it needs a paint job. A whole lot of nasty orange peel. There's dust and dirt and rust bubbles in it. It's just old. It's old and faded. I've had quite a few compliments on the color. When I repaint it, I'm probably going to go something a little bit darker, something a bit of metallic in it too. Yeah, kind of like how Cinnamon's red had that beautiful metallic-y, pearly candiness to it. That's kind of what I'm looking for in the blue. I can't really choose any other color but blue because of the interior. So kind of limited on color options, but I like it. So I wanted to show you guys with just, an hour's work. Like, look at that seat. And this is the difference. I purposely did only half of the seat and half of the armrest. But look at that color come back. Beautiful. It's gonna look great in here. This interior is just looking mint. Beautiful. That's more like it. Pulled off the stickers from the back window. Wasn't digging that. I'm gonna get the 3 back windows tinted too. Just be nicer to have the kids back there. Plus it looks cool. For the plastics I used just regular Armor All. The dash was really bad, so I actually used some tire shine on there, and it's hard to tell from the video. Well, I guess you can see there's a major shine going on there. What were you saying?
Nothing.
You know how I feel about steering wheel covers,
There's
Katie.
so many of them. So many wheel covers.
Oh my gosh. My first car was an 82 Monte Carlo. And I remember it like yesterday. The first time I ever sat in the car, and it smelled like Vanilla Roma Little Trees. And ever since then, I've been putting Vanilla Roma in all of my cars to remind me of my first car, Cinnamon. So now, today is the first time I've bought these air fresheners for my new old 83 Monte Carlo. And yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to when I park the car for a while in the sun and hop in and it smells like Vanilla Roma Little Trees. It's all about the little things in life, right? I'm gonna go ahead and hang the Little Trees on the brake release. That's exactly where I had them when I was a kid. Oh man. Okay, right here, perfect spot. I gotta see, and brakes. Right there. Oh, okay. So once it locks up, it does slide. The front left locked up. Front right did not, which is weird because when I was first driving it, when I was stomping on the brakes, it was pulling to the right, and the front left just locked up, which doesn't really make much sense. But you know what? It stops. I'll take it. All right, I'll let you guys in on what's going on with these here wire wheels. So there's a junkyard post, and the guy was selling 4 different sets of wheels. I asked him how much for the wheels. He said $100 a set. So I went and bought these, pulled them out of the dirt, bought them for $100, and then literally 10 minutes with steel wool and Scotch-Brite on the tires, and that's what I'm left with. Like, not bad for $100. I went out and found some center caps for the wheels. Those are the only ones I could find. Most of them are going for, $500, $1,100 just for the caps. And I managed to get these for $185. 4-wire wheels, $285. I've just got the engine warming up right now because I'm gonna give it a little degrease and a little hose down under here. because it's kind of nasty looking. Alright, she's up in the air, got the whole bottom end power washed off, so that's pretty much prepped for paint. It's looking pretty good under here. Engine fired up, so that's a good sign. Yeah. Uh-oh. The wipers just clicked on by themselves. Shout out G at Neighborhood Auto Glass and Upholstery in Langley, hooking me up with some rubber. Okay, so I gave the undercarriage a quick rattle can. Got my tires mounted on my wheels, so I'm gonna take them down to the shop right now and grind off this little nub and see if those hubcaps fit. All right, well I had to grind out the whole inside edge of the wheel itself, but the caps fit now. So I gotta do this with all the other wheels and I'll be good. Yeah. Would you look at that? You wash the engine bay, you put on some new wheels, and the rocker knock is gone. And speaking of new wheels, that's it for this episode of SlickWorks. Hope you guys liked it. As always, tell your friends, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We'll catch you guys next time.